We are live. Happy
We're
Friday,
live.
everybody.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's been a good week.
It flew by, man. And the sign of a great productive week is that it flies by. You know what I mean?
That is true. It really did fly by, honestly, man. Like, gosh, this week just went by. What's up, everybody? We are here. We are live. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube or you're watching the replay on Facebook, definitely hang out with us because what we're doing is special this week. Dakota, what are we doing this week?
We're doing a Q&A section this week. We asked everybody in our Facebook group last week, hey, what questions do you have about ads? And we're going to be just firing through them today. So we've got a good collection of questions that have been asked in our group. If you're not in the private Facebook community, definitely check it out. We'll link it below all of these wherever we're streaming. We'll link it below. It's facebook.com/groups/free AdClass. That's where you can ask these questions, get your answers. We're going to go as deep as we possibly can on these questions, really give a lot of good detail. If you're watching this live and you have additional questions to whatever we're talking about today, throw them in the chat. We are here. We are live. We are answering your burning questions. So That's what we're doing today.
That is what we're doing today. So I'm really pumped because the group has been growing and it's just so cool to see like the new questions that are coming in and the things that people are asking. So we're fired up, guys. We're excited to kind of dive into it. And like Dakota said, if you've got questions as we're going through these, just pop them in. And even if you're watching the replay, even if you're doing this later and you're like, oh, I've got this question, like we will go back and look at these comments. So let us know if you have anything that you want us to answer. But yeah, I guess without further ado, let's kind of jump into the first question here. So
let's do it. And Matthew's here behind the scenes. He's going to be queuing up the questions for us to shout out Matthew. Here's the first one we're talking about today, though. Jeremy says, I'm looking to find creative solutions on how to connect with a niche audience who may be hard to target, shift their paradigm in thinking, give them a vision for something they don't currently have a paradigm for, call them to action, and get them to take action. Let's go. This is an awesome question. And
I like the end there. I like the let's go. That was nice.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. It's a really good question. So basically the question is, how do I get in front of the right people and sort of change their mind about something that maybe they have a preconceived notion about, or maybe they've never even thought about before, and then get them to take action? So Caleb, one thing comes to mind for me. I know it should be coming to mind for you. What is the mechanism we use to do that?
We love the VSL funnel for this, guys.
VSL funnel, let's go.
Exactly. So if you guys like, just to like pull up his question one more time really quick, like this, exactly what he's saying here, what Jeremy is asking for is literally basically exactly why the VSL funnel was created. Yeah. So I'm really pumped up to kind of just dive into an example of that. We can kind of showcase that. I'll actually pull up, Dakota, we just made that new presentation. I might actually just pull up that slide from that presentation.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
While you're pulling that up, so VSL funnel is basically, in a nutshell, it's a long form or short to long form video, somewhere probably closer to 20 minutes on average, where we're actually kind of targeting the right people, putting something in front of them that we know they'd be interested in, but that's new to them, and then calling them to action at the end. So a really good example of like a classic VSL funnel is like, we'll just use, coaches and consultants as an example. Hey, coaches and consultants, are you struggling to XYZ? Are you struggling to fill calendars? Are you struggling to get sales? Are you struggling to, keep cash flowing, whatever it is? We've got a new way to teach you how to do that. Right. And then we kind of show them in the actual VSL. So yeah, Caleb, walk us through this. This is kind of the entire system here.
Yeah. So we'll go through this at a high level. We've done full entire like Friday live trainings on this as well. And there's content on our YouTube channel. I mean, like we've talked about this a ton, but at a high level, let's walk through it really quick for those of you that are joining us today. So this is what this process looks like. We typically run ads on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google, and TikTok. Sometimes all of those, sometimes just a few of those, just depends on where the person's at with their offer. We then send that traffic to a landing page to get them excited about what we have to offer. From that landing page, we do a bunch of things on the back end. So what you'll see in those blue boxes are the automations that we'll run. So we send email, text message, or SMS, and then we do some auto retargeting as well that August triggered on the back end. But on the front end are the green boxes. That's where the lead's following through. they're moving into some video content to do exactly what Jeremy was asking for there, right? So Jeremy was like, hey, how do I get them to like see my unique positioning and what makes me stand out? That's what this video content's for. After that, we send them to an application to basically get in contact with the team. Prep step, that's additional warmth and just kind of making sure that the rapport is getting built with someone. And then ultimately that leads to the sales call down the road. So in a nutshell, Jeremy, that's basically the best way that we have personally used to do exactly what you were asking for. So
boom.
Yeah.
That's
Boom.
it. And sort of the tricky part about that whole system is basically finding the right people, right? And so a lot of what that VSL does at the beginning, we've got other trainings on this in the channel, but at the beginning, you're really saying, hey, is this you? Are you struggling with this? This training is for boom, 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 right? So it's like, are you a coach or consultant? Are you currently doing this? Are you currently doing this? Well, we've got something for you. And then we kind of flip their preconceived notions on the head and provide them with a new solution. So yeah, the targeting is super important on that funnel. Obviously, you can't just show it to anybody in the world. You got to get laser targeted with your ads first for it to work. But that is a great way to do exactly what you're looking for, Jeremy.
Heck yeah.
Sweet. Question number 2, what do we got? Ooh.
Oh, snap. Donald in the Facebook group asking us about restaurant marketing. Okay, this is cool. That's weird because I said this is cool, but also in this comment, I said this is cool. So I guess I am the same person.
You're consistent.
I'm consistent. So yeah, this is really neat. So he's looking to just get some more people in the door for his clients. It looks like he does some of his own marketing here, and he's looking on how to do restaurant marketing specifically with ads. So there's some cool ways that you can do this, Donald. So let's go ahead and kind of dive into this as well. I'll hop into just kind of a sample ad account here to show you kind of like some of the things that you can do, obviously, with targeting. So one second, let me pull this up. Ads manager, share. Okay. So here's one of the cool things that you can do is like, this is just kind of like a test campaign that I've built out. But what I wanted to showcase is that if you're doing restaurant marketing, then chances are your restaurant obviously has a physical location and you want customers and people coming in that are actually in that area, right? So one of the cool things with ads, both on Facebook and Google, is that you can get really specific about where you want your ads to show and who you want your ads to show to. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is once you have created a campaign and you get to the ad set level, right? Here inside the ad set, you can get to this location section. And then what it's going to be able to allow you to choose is reach people living in or recently in this location, right? And what we can do here is we can get as specific as going down to a zip code. So if I do 85015, right? That's a zip code that I can do here in Phoenix. Well, not here. I don't live in Phoenix. But
that's my old zip code.
Oh, really? That's probably why I was stuck in my head.
Yeah, dude, my house would be like right where that check mark is, basically. My old house.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Love it. So here's one of the coolest things that you can do, right? Is like you can come in and you can run your ads literally down to the zip code. And you can say, I only want to show my ad to people who are just recently in this zip code, or maybe they live in this zip code, right? Yep. And so another cool thing that you can do if you don't want to do zip codes is what Facebook allows you to do is to drop a pin. So let's say that like my restaurant is in Peoria and I want to drop a pin in Peoria, I can do that. And what I can do is I can tell Facebook how wide of a radius I want to target. So if I know, hey, look, I really only want to target like a 3-mile radius around Peoria, I can do that as well, right? So these are kind of some of the tools that you can use on the targeting side as far as like who you want the ads to show to. And then if it's a restaurant, it's probably going pretty broad on like interest and things. Honestly, I'd probably just be wanting to target everybody that's been in this if I'm going after a really specific zip code like this. And then the only other thing, I mean, Dakota, if you want to speak to like maybe what kind of a creative you might run as like a restaurant owner, if you want to like bring in some new people into the door.
Yeah. So I think there are some interest-based targeting stuff that you could do too. So like Caleb, you have this pulled up now. So if you go up to the interest panel or down, I don't know which direction is from here. I think it's down. Yeah. So you can actually type in stuff like, if you type in like coffee shop, I think there's like there used to be a whole like, people who are interested in like coffee houses, coffee shops, right? And then you could probably do like fine dining. You could probably do like pizza, places, different things like that. Yeah, fine dining lovers, right? So depending on the restaurant, like you can get pretty niche with a lot of these like these interests. So like restaurants and dining, right? Like barbecue restaurants, like whatever the restaurant you're marketing for, you could actually probably find an interest for it here. And then really the trickiest part, in my opinion, is tracking the effectiveness of your ad, right? So if you're just trying to get people into your restaurant and you're marketing on Facebook, you probably want to give them some sort of a promo code or a coupon or something that lets them like use something so that they came from Facebook, right? So for example, if you like click in, on an ad and you're like, hey, come to my pizza place in, Peoria, Arizona. When you come, use the code Facebook for 10% off your meal. Now you have a way to actually like understand, is the ad working? Are you actually getting foot traffic in the door from the ad, right? So that would be a really common way to sort of track that. The other piece that I would say for like the actual ads that you're running, user generated content crushes for stuff like this. So honestly, if it were me and I was running a restaurant, what I would do is I would get like the local foodies who have like a TikTok page or an Instagram page or whatever. Like I know in Arizona, AZ Foodie is like very popular. She's got like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're mostly in Arizona. And all she does is goes to restaurants, reviews them on her TikTok or Instagram, and then like, that's it. You pay someone like her to come to your restaurant to do a shout out, and then you run that organically with her, and then you also run it as an ad, right? Yep. Like once you do that, now you're breaking into the foodies, right, of your location. Those are the people that drive to come see you, even if they don't live in your city, right? Those are the people that spread the word like wildfire when people ask, have you eaten at any good restaurants lately? And so that user generated content is huge. And if I were a restaurant owner, which like part of me wants to be, I know that's so dumb because I have a very good career already, but like I love restaurants. I would totally be taking advantage of user generated content and then targeting people like Caleb just showed and giving them some sort of a coupon or something that lets me know that they came from my ad.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love it. Good stuff.
Pretty sweet.
All right, cool. Matthew, what do we got as the next question?
Ooh, Google tracking.
Google tracking. What's up? Okay. Crystal, hey, if you're watching the recording, good to hear from you. Stoked that you're asking questions in the group. So, what's funny, Dakota literally just did an internal training with our team at AdClass this week, specifically on this topic. So I guess, Dakota, maybe while you start pulling up some Google Tag Manager stuff, we can kind of run through this. So what Crystal's really asking for here, guys, is that she feels comfortable with how to track her ads on Facebook. But when she's running ads on Google, the tracking can be a little bit intimidating, and trying to figure out how to make sure that you set up your conversions and everything is going the right way. So, so Dakota will share a screen here and kind of go over like the basics and the foundation of, hey, if you want to start getting some ads going on Google, here's how you can track it.
Yeah. So really the tracking piece on Google comes down to having your funnel set up with the right events. Okay. So, without going too much into the weeds, what I would recommend is Google Tag Manager, specifically because it's owned by Google and it can really help make sure that you're tracking everything accurately. So with Google Tag Manager, it's really as simple as this. I'll actually pull up our Google Ads account too, and we'll do this live in person. So let me actually share my whole browser here so that you guys, when I switch tabs, you'll be able to see it. Okay, cool. So this, you can see Tag Manager right now, right, Caleb?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is Tag Manager, and then we have the Google Ads account here. I'm going to sign into it live on the call with you guys. And then while I'm in this Tag Manager account, what I'm going to do is actually pull up the conversions window. So here in the conversions window, this is where like all of your conversions live, right? And I already have some created. So just for example here, I'm going to actually just use this booked call event as my example. Okay. So I'm going to go in and look at this booked call event. First off, when you create a new event, what you're going to do is give it a name, right? I've already given this one the name, booked call. Here you can give it a category. For me, this is a booked appointment, right? You can decide if it's a primary or a secondary action. What this means is if it's a primary, then when you optimize your ads, it's going to be looking at this as a primary event for it to optimize for. What I mean by that is if you were running like a conversions campaign, in this case, maybe a TCPA campaign, target cost per acquisition campaign, you're actually optimizing toward this event if it's counted as a primary one, right? So this is really important. So you'll save that setting. Down here, you can add a value or not, depending on if you're actually selling something. So when they actually book the call, is there a value associated? With us, there is not. So I'm not going to add any value there. You're going to say where it's from. This is already a website event set up. You're going to say how many times you should count the event. So here it's like, if they book numerous calls, should I count it more than once? Well, in this case, they can only book one call in my funnel. So I want this to be just counted once, right? And then you can set your attribution options here. Some people like to do this 30 days for everything. I typically keep it pretty standard, which is 33 and then 1. Now, we'll actually usually turn on enhanced conversions, but in this case, for the sake of this example, we'll just do this quickly. There's 2 ways to install a tag. You can do it yourself with all this code in the funnel, or you can use Google Tag Manager. And so this is what we're going to do right now, really super quick and dirty. We're going to just get in here and install this tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this conversion ID and this conversion label for my event. I'm going to go back into Tag Manager. I'm going to click on tags, and I'm going to add a new tag. And this is going to be Google booked call, right? I'm just going to give it the same name that I have in there. I'm going to click the type of tag here, and I'm just going to click right here, Google Ads conversion tracking. Well, look at that. It's asking me for the conversion ID and the conversion label, which we just saw here. So conversion ID, I'm going to grab that. Conversion label, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to leave all of this stuff default. I'm going to make sure conversion linking is on. I don't need to mess with any of this stuff. I'm going to click in triggering, and this is where I say, where do I actually want this to fire? How do I know if they actually booked a call, right? So here, I know I've actually already created this, and it's called the success page. So I'm not going to create it again because I've already done this, but what this means basically is that I'm going to fire this event when my URL contains the word success, because in our funnel, after they book a call, they go to a page that says adclass.com/success, right? And so basically now I know that this event that I just created is going to trigger when someone gets to the success page. And it's as simple as that. I push, cannot start with the name cannot start with a special character. Well, I didn't think I did, but let's see.
Special character.
Yeah, I don't see the special character. Either way, this is the way it's done. I'll have to figure out maybe it doesn't like the colon. There it is. Okay. Google booked call. There you go. Now I created that. I push submit. I save it. I publish. And that is how you set up Google tracking. Once you have this set up, it's super nice because when you're in the actual ad account and you're looking at your column view, you're able to actually see when people book a call. So over here, your booked calls, this will actually populate with how many calls they were booked. So like here you can see 6 booked calls in this campaign, 193 a piece, right? And it's only because I have that set up the way that I just showed you. So that's what you do for every funnel event. And then once you have that set up, your Google ads are tracking correctly and you're able to actually see what's going on.
Heck yeah. There you go, Crystal. Hope that answered your question. Yeah, quick and dirty. And then if you have anything else specific, Crystal, that you're looking for with Google tracking specifically, just like post it up in the video. Like we can dive deeper on like a specific piece of that if you'd like, or if you have anything that you'd like us to elaborate on, just let us know. Matthew, do we have any more? Do we have any more questions? Oh, we do. We do. Travis, what is up, Travis? Thank you so much for being in the group and for asking questions, dude. Appreciate you. Cool. So let's read through what Travis has here. So he's asking for special category meta ads. Okay. I asked, are there any specific ones that he's interested in? Because Meta does have multiple special ad categories. He says, credit, I have data that I want to use, but can't make like audiences for special ad category. And I let him know, yep, that's a part of the struggle. Facebook used to do what's called special ad audiences, which was a version of lookalikes with a few more demographic restrictions, but then they ended up doing away with that. And so there's still some really great ways to run traffic and target, though, if you want to get into the special ad category. So again, thank you, Travis, for being in the group. Thanks for asking the question. So now let's answer it and let's dive into it. So if you guys don't know, Meta has a few different special ad categories if you are running ads for a very specific particular reason. Okay, so some of those special ad categories, I'm going to try to name them off the top of my head. You've got housing, okay, which is if you're going to be running ads for real estate specifically, like if you're selling a house and you're putting that on an ad, you have to run it in the special ad housing category. Okay, there's also political special ad category. So this is like if you're running for office or you're running campaigns for someone who is doing something that's political or in office, you have to run those in a special ad category as well. There's also credit. Okay, this is what Travis is asking about in his question. And he's saying, hey, if I want to run ads that talk about credit, like what basically needs to happen for special ad category credit. Basically, this is if you're going to be offering them a credit opportunity. So if you're running ads for like a credit card or saying like, hey, apply for this loan or this credit, then you have to be in the special ad category. And then I think I'm missing what's the other one? Oh, employment. So the fourth one is the employment special ad category. If you're going to run an ad for a job or a job opportunity, then you have to run it in the employment special ad category. Those are the four. Okay, there are only four specifically on Facebook. Now, for Travis's question with credit, there's still some really great ways to target. Now, Facebook did take away the opportunity to use lookalikes specifically for these special ad audiences, but there's still some really great ways to target. Now, with credit specifically, they have a lot of really great interests that you can use for credit. Okay, so I would definitely poke around in there. I could share screen right now and look at some of like the interests. I actually might do that. That might be helpful here. So I'll do that for 1 second. Share screen. We'll go back to the ads manager I was sharing before. So this is where we were just going over that restaurant example, right? If I was to come down here and I was to go to, and I was to search credit, right? There's definitely a bunch of options that you can go ahead and look for and targeting here with credit. Okay, so definitely don't shy away from being able to test out some of these different audiences because they're definitely there for you. And then also the other big thing too is like what you're using in the creative. So we actually do help a few different business owners that run credit offers. And we've been able to see a lot of success with the actual scripting that's being said on the actual video creative itself. And as well as like how the funnel is structured. So yeah, man, hopefully that answers a special ad category question specifically with credit. If there's anything else specific about like how you want to be able to use that data, let us know in the group and we can kind of dive deeper into that. But yeah, it's definitely still possible. We run several credit offers successfully. And although special ad category is a hindrance and it does remove like some targeting options from you, it absolutely does not mean that you can't get an offer to work there. You just kind of have to be able to work around some of those restrictions and understand that your competitors are also having to work around the same thing. So yeah, cool. Hopefully that answers that question. Thanks, Travis. What else we got? Oh, snap. Okay, so this one's a text message. Okay, this one will be fun. Okay, so this one says, hey, I think people would flip out if you guys showed the conditional lead gen ads on Meta, the ones where it only collects a lead if you answer the right way, because it teaches Meta to optimize well. And then I said, cool, that's really good feedback. We'll add that to the docket for this Q&A session. And then like they replied, like if you only sell to businesses, you can ask, are you looking for personal or business use? If they say individual, then they wouldn't really count as a lead. And then Meta is going to learn to not serve to people like that. So basically here, what the conversation is about is how do you start to teach Meta what really a qualified lead is? So Dakota, do you want to jump into this or do you want me to kind of jump into it or how you?
Yeah, I love it. So there's a couple ways of doing this. One is just pixel-based firing, right? So there's a few solutions you could do. I'm sure, I don't know if lead gen ads you can do this with or not on Meta. I'm not sure. I haven't messed around with that too much, but I know that you can do this with Typeform. You can do this with Schedule Once now has routing forms. Calendly has routing forms. They're all starting to kind of build that into their product suite. But we've always used Typeform because it's pretty and loads fast. And so what you can really do is you can ask them questions and then conditionally reroute them based on their answers of those questions. So basically the way it would look is, let's just for a rudimentary sort of like understanding of this, let's say they click your ad, they go to a page and there's a survey. The survey says, let's say your offer is for people who want running shoes. All right. We always go back to our shoes. It's just easy. It's just easy. Okay.
It's an easy example.
We only want people who are interested in running shoes to get to the running shoe page. Okay. We want people who are not interested in running shoes to go to like the flip-flop page or something. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we have a survey on our landing page. They click through, they get to our survey. The survey says, do you like running? Yes or no? If they answer yes, we redirect them to the running page. If they answer no, we redirect them to the flip-flop page. Here's where it gets fun. You put a pixel event on the running page that in your mind, is good qualified leads, right? So let's just pretend that it's submitted application. That's the pixel event you put on that running page. Okay, now you've submitted application firing for everybody that is a qualified person who wants running shoes or likes running. You put a different event on the flip-flop page. Maybe it's like content view or something else, something you don't care about as much. You put that on that page. Now, when you optimize your ads, you optimize toward the event that you put on the running page, in this case, completed application. So you're telling Facebook, when you're running these ads, to find you more people like the people that answered that they're interested in running, just by using optimization and pixel-based events.
It's huge. It's huge, dude. And to just add on to like a little bit extra layer of complexity there is that to translate this out of like a running offer into like a high ticket offer, one of the things that you can do is once you started to collect enough data on applications, you can also implement lead scoring, right? Yeah. And so what's really cool about that is once you've implemented lead scoring, that's essentially a model that says, hey, we're looking at the last 100 applications. And now we know if someone answers questions in this way, they're much more likely to purchase whenever they're on the phone with us. And when you have that data, now you can route people based off of those questions that they answered that way, right? And so now it's kind of like almost taking like a data scientist approach to that routing and conditional lead gen. So yeah, really good question. That was from a friend of ours named Justin. So thank you, Justin, for that suggestion and question.
I love how detailed and advanced that question was. That's the thing. In this group, we're answering anything from beginner, how do you target stuff on Facebook, to advanced, how can you find the right people using some advanced strategies, right? So no question is off limits. Whatever you guys have, we want to answer them.
Exactly. So with that said, guys, please come hang out with us in the Facebook group. We want to hang out with you. Whether you're doing marketing, whether you're running ads, whether you're just an entrepreneur that's just trying to figure out how like some of this digital stuff works, come hang out with us in the group and ask your questions, because we will answer them regardless of what it is. If it's a beginner question, or if you're like, man, I've been running ads for 10 years and I have like a deep question, we're here to talk through it all. And we are here live with you on Facebook and YouTube every single Friday. So come hang out with us, guys. And thanks for joining us for another live session.
Not only that, but I'm going to throw in the chat our podcast. We want to pitch the podcast. If you guys have not listened to Ad Talk by AdClass, you're missing out, you guys. You're missing out. If you like the versions of us that are a little bit more fun, maybe not as not as formal, you might want to check out the podcast. It drops every other Wednesday.
We have a fun time on the podcast. We have a great time.
Yeah, it's so fun. Check it out, Ad Talk by AdClass. I threw the link in all of the respective places. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Hope you have an amazing weekend. We'll talk to you next time.
See you guys.